Oh shoot, the canine tracker came out again. Okay. I can jump from down here, right? Not take like massive fall damage. Seems to be the case. Seems to be the case. Huh. Hmm. Y'all still talking about Jeff Hardy or y'all talking about Mick Foley still? Jeff? Why did that giant koi fish have... Why does that red Gyarados have the dog in their mouth? Curse you, Whopper. Shiny Garuda. The legendary fish Whopper. They used to work at Burger King. Good old Umi. The dog sure does get eaten a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty sure we rescued that dog from a giant friggin' spider or something. Some spider oni. I don't remember the name of it. Y'all know what game I've been playing a lot recently? Just like off the cuff. It's been freaking Tears of the Kingdom. Draw a line from the tip of the pole to Whopper. Okay. I mean, is it really? As much of a Zelda fan that I am, is it really all that is it really all that surprising? Xenoblade, you're gonna be waiting for a minute. When I get some Xenoblade money, it would be the time that I actually start playing Xenoblade. How am I supposed to know which one is the is Big Whopper? We just got a crab. We got a lousy crab. Oh shit. That might be the Big Whopper. Got his big ass. He still needs to buy Chaos Reigns. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what to say to that. I would like to do a Mortal Kombat like stream, a story stream. Because obviously they haven't put Mortal Kombat 9 on like current gen consoles or anything like that. But I do have MKX. I do have MKX. I do have MK11. And I have the majority of MK1 too. So when the freaking season pass for Chaos Reigns is $10 like BioShock was, then I'll buy it. And the current predicament that I'm in right now, then I'll buy it. If it's $10, I'll buy it. We finally caught Whopper, but where is Umi? And they're gonna be having a lot of fish for the next few days. He's about to go on this long diatribe about Umi, right? Oh, I see it. The job searches here and there. A lot of places said that they are not hiring until March, so I'll be calling some places back to see if they're, you know, draw it all in one shot. Okay, if they'll be hiring now. So that's pretty much all I'll be doing. I'll just be like following up with a bunch of places that I've already applied to, and they've told me that they were not going to be hiring until this month. We making mochi? I appreciate that, Rezzy. I have hope that some good will turn out this month. Crescent brush technique. Draw a moon crescent. Thank. Princess feet. It's Umi. I called it. Oh, someone else is pissed that Amaterasu has the canine tracker. Jin. Umi's finally speaking, and their real name is actually Jin. Not their pet owner name. Pet dog owner. Thought I blocked that. Shit. How does Amaterasu like tell these dogs that they're actually God? Like, do they know that this is like a god that they're fighting against? Ain't it just Amy's just humble, she's not trying to flex. The most down to earth dog deity. Power orb is choosing you. I don't need it to worry anymore. Blair could learn for this example. I shall spend the rest of my years under the guise of Umi. The reason why I was playing Tears of the Kingdom, now that the cutscene's over and I can actually concentrate, was because I don't know. I've been in like you remember when I sent you the Zelda like little lore thing that I made about a week or so ago. I've just been in a very Zelda mood. I've been watching like a bunch of Zelda lore videos over like the last few days, and I don't know. I'm just looking for inspiration wherever inspiration takes me, and it took me back to Zelda. One of like the cornerstones of me writing a story to begin with. You wish they made a Zelda RPG? I mean, Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild are the closest you're gonna get to that, unless they decide to do something different in like future Zelda games. Those are like the closest to like a RPG that you can get, which doesn't really say much because I don't know. I like some of the mechanics in Tears of the Kingdom, and Breath of the Wild is just the poor story execution. The poor story execution is the reason why those games are like I would say Breath of the Wild is a 7 to me and Tears of the Kingdom is an 8, but the poor storytelling is the reason why they're not a 10, cuz a lot of the other Zelda games, especially the 3D ones, are like a 9 to me. Like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. Those games are like a 9. Like especially Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. Just because of like my love for Ganondorf, and just Majora's Mask is such a like it's like if one of those like indie horror like studios got a hold of a Zelda game. That's what Majora's Mask feels like to me. And so it's just so far out there and so like non-typical of a Zelda game that I freaking love it. Even though Wind Waker was technically the first Zelda game that I ever beat, um, Breath of the Wild did win Game of the Year. I'm saying all this in hindsight. Like I'm saying all this as time has gone on. Breath of the Wild is a 7 to me, and Tears of the Kingdom is an 8. Yeah, it was it is definitely a lucid nightmare. Um, Majora's Mask is just so different, and it brought the mask concept into the Zelda. Like I don't think the mask concept was different, because I'm pretty sure like didn't they have like the mask concept in I think it was it A Link to the Past, or was it the Oracle games? I don't remember. But the masks have existed in all of the Zelda games. It's just Majora's Mask took it to a different level by making these like spiritual masks, and Link is like taking on the form of these different entities that now are in the mask as they transition to the afterlife. Like that kind of, or just housing an entity inside of a mask to begin with. Started in Majora's Mask for the Zelda games. Uh, Technically, yes, all of the Zelda games are connected. There is like a very convoluted, complicated, and asinine timeline that exists for all of the Zelda games. That is it is official. It's not like a fan made thing anymore. So do with that as you will. Some of them are connected through different routes in the timeline. Yes, that is also correct. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are their own separate timelines. So Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are like so far in the future from all the other Zelda games that it's just completely separate. By the time they got to Breath of the Wild, I'm sure they stopped caring. I mean, that might be some of the case, but it's not all of the case just because they made Echoes of Wisdom, and Echoes of Wisdom is on the downfall timeline now. So somebody still cares about the timeline. The Hyrule Warrior games are not canon. Unfortunately, they're not canon. I would like for Age of Calamity to be canon because it makes sense of a lot of the bullshit that was in Breath of the Wild. Age of Calamity could be like its own timeline within the whole Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, like circle loop of a timeline that they have going on. Yeah, it's also a pretty good game. It's too much for like the Switch. The Switch can barely handle that game. Let's see. Why is my connection dropping off? The Switch can barely handle a lot of Breath of the Wild, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity specifically, and Tears of the Kingdom. But they still make it work, which is the most shocking thing to me. I need to go to Princess Fuse. I forget where exactly she is at. My map navigation is in this game is awful, by the way. I need to go back. Yes, the same Shigeru Miyamoto is the maker for like Mario. He's the creator for Mario, Zelda, Star Fox. I believe he's partly credited for Kirby. He's Metroid as well. That man is he is a paragon of just creativity. Miyamoto is he's just rife with like a bunch of credits for mad Nintendo properties. Like if you thought Mario and Zelda is where it ends for him, it is not. He still has Yeah, it's actually insane. It's actually insane. I know Sakurai is like mostly responsible for not Zelda, for Kirby. But I'm pretty sure Miyamoto had a hand in Kirby as well. I'm almost positive that he did. Wait, hold on. Go here. Zoom out. Aren't I supposed to be able to like teleport to? I wonder. Hold on. And I'm not sure who has like the most credit for Donkey Kong, or who's like the responsible like director or creative behind Donkey Kong. I watched a few of the I don't know if you guys know who the Mentalk is, but he does like a bunch of like, I guess you would call them like documentaries for like Nintendo game properties or franchises and Sonic the Hedgehog stuff. But he has like mad like a few breakdowns for like Star Fox, Mario, Zelda, Kirby, Sonic the Hedgehog, various Sonic the Hedgehog games. Like all the way from like the early 2D ones up to like just individual character explanations and history behind how they were created and stuff like that. I watch a lot of his videos to learn about some of the creative history of like these historic Nintendo and Sega franchises. I gotta go up here. But I don't particularly believe that a lot of Nintendo influenced me as like a creative, or like wanting to be like a writer and stuff like that, except for The Legend of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda definitely has a freaking hold on me. Like to this day, I am just like enamored with a lot of The Legend of Zelda stuff. So this is where I'm supposed to be going for the mermaid's coin thing. I still don't like how they did Ganondorf in Tears of the Kingdom, and just overall after like everything after Skyward Sword, I don't particularly care for. I do have the item in my inventory. Oh, okay. So you have to manually go. Okay, I didn't know that you had to manually do that. I thought there was like a prompt or something. What was I saying? A lot of stuff that they did about and to Ganondorf following Skyward Sword. I went back. I thought this is where I was supposed to go. Wait, go back. My menu management is awful. Yeah, I'm supposed to go up to that there's a thing highlighted there on the map. That's where I wanted to go. I thought this is where I was supposed to go. Yeah, you're not paying attention. Yeah, this is the most wonky and most hilarious like transformation of a character I've ever seen in my entire life. This is hilarious. Step inside. Spirit Storm Rosary Technique. First square to begin the attack. Rapidly in succession. Time it well. Put the correct weapon. So what? Ah, the rosary. Got it. Okay. Got it. Okay. I don't want to do it no more. Like he literally goes from like being Goken from Street Fighter to freaking Heihachi from Tekken, and like in the turn of a head. Hold on. What were y'all talking? You were talking about the Switch. Have I ever owned a GameCube? Yes, I have. 1000%. I owned a GameCube before my brother sold it like a scumbag. Um, what do I think about the Switch 2? I would probably get a Switch 2. Um, especially when I have the the money to purchase the game. You don't have the space. The GameCube was your first console. That's hilarious. You've never seen one in real life. It's funny that the GameCube was your first console. The freaking Sega Genesis was my first console, and it obviously it wasn't mine because I was like 3 or 4 years old, but it was like my mom's. My mom would play like the Sega every now and again, and she would play like the it was like a handheld Sega console that came out in like the early, I don't know. There was a handheld Sega console that my mom would carry around that had like freaking Vector Man and the Spider-Man game. I think it was a Game Gear. Maybe that wasn't it. My mom would take it with her to like work and stuff because she used to work in like a hotel. And she would take it to work with her while she was on her shift and just play it while there was nothing to do. So like Vector Man, Mortal Kombat 2, the Spider-Man Carnage game was like the first video games I've ever played in my entire life. If I'm putting a date on myself, that would be how old I am. You got a Game Boy Advance first. Interesting. I don't know. I would count that. I would count the Game Boy Advance. You only have a dinky university room. That's fair. You can't carry all that stuff with you. I actually almost forgot that you are technically in school. Or like on campus in school. Actually, let me go. I would definitely count the a Game Boy as like a console. You know about Lucas? Oh, there's a actual dog here. My whole digging record. Oh, is he talking about the whole digging like mini game that's at the sanctuary? You be very surprised to see how the video game setup at our house is done. How I would personally like my video game setup is not. I can't successfully do it with how like our living arrangement is. But I have like a few game consoles that I could put up if possible. Like I have a PS3. I used to have a PS2. Um, but unfortunately, the PS2 is the uh the laser